Have you ever noticed that the bigger you want to build a building, the deeper and larger the foundation has to be? Our houses, and even dog houses, do not require a very big foundation. But in order to have a godly and successful life, you have to focus on making a really good foundation. Join me today as we take a quick look at the Proverbs and learn how our speech, thoughts, and moral goodness determine our success in life. Read with me Proverbs chapter 4, verse 24 through 27. Keep your mouth free from perversity. Keep corrupt talk far from your lips. Let your eyes look straight ahead. Fix your gaze directly before you. Give careful thought to the paths for your feet, and be steadfast in all your ways. Do not turn to the right or the left. Keep your foot from evil. There are some very basic things that we take for granted that can really make a difference in our lives. A difference of if we are to succeed or not. The things we say, the things we focus our attention on, and the direction that we point our feet in life can take us to good places or bad. So let's look at what these verses have to say about our language, our purpose, our thoughts, and our moral integrity. The first thing we will look at is pure language. Speech is something that makes mankind very different from anything else. It's a priceless gift from God. Unlike any other creature, we have the ability to pour our hearts out through language to any other human being on the earth. We can even speak down through the ages to touch and influence other generations to come with our words. But sadly, we pervert and misuse our words too often. With our words, we sometimes perpetuate errors. We often display irreverence towards God and His ways through our words. And for some of us, our speech is sometimes littered with profanities and with filth. But Colossians 4:6 says, "Let your conversation be always full of grace, seasoned with salt, so that you may know how to answer everyone." Sometimes our poor speech is not just bad words, sometimes it's corrupt. That means that with our words, we show a deliberate and obstinate desire to behave in a way that is unreasonable or unacceptable, in spite of the consequences to ourselves or to others. And let's face it, a pure heart is essential to pure speech. So pure language has to come from a heart full of love, holiness, and truth. Solomon tells us that we need to keep our mouth free from perversity. Keep corrupt talk far from your lips. In the next verse, we see a straightforward purpose. Verse 25 says, "Let your eyes look straight ahead. Fix your gaze directly before you." That means that in life, we need to stop taking side glances at things that distract us from our real goals and our real purpose. It reminds me of cows and horses that try to eat grass on the other side of the fence. They get distracted and they think it's greener on the other side. We do that too. You need to have a purpose in life. It needs to be clear, well-defined, and righteous. You need to keep it always before you as your prize. Don't look back or turn aside, but keep your eyes always on the prize. One Bible scholar put it this way: "He who pursues a good object openly, faithfully, and constantly will every day command increasing respect from his fellow men, and find the divine forces within him beating stronger and more harmonious." Also, Solomon says that we need to exercise habitual thoughtfulness. God gave us the ability to think, but we need to take it a step further and be thoughtful about our journey. Solomon says in this verse, "Give careful thought to the paths for your feet, and be steadfast in all your ways." Sometimes we cause all kinds of trouble for ourselves and for others, because we act impulsively or with prejudice or some widely accepted way of behaving. But we should not be thoughtless robots doing just whatever. We should act intelligently. We should act from internal consideration and not from outward thoughtless influences. We should develop healthy habits and attitudes. Did you know that there's even a word for that? It's called Habitude. Go look it up. Lastly, we need to be people of unswerving moral integrity. Have you ever considered the fact that the way of sin is a twisted and winding path, but the way of moral goodness is a straight line that runs true to godliness? Verse 27 says, "Do not turn to the right or the left. Keep your foot from evil." Any turn from that path of moral integrity is risky and is wrong. You need to be careful how you walk through this life, because temptation lies everywhere along the path, and trouble lurks to the right and to the left. Take no step without careful thought, and always let your thoughts be on the will of your great and loving Father God. Pure language, straightforward purpose, habitual thoughtfulness, and unswerving moral integrity. These are what you need to create a good and lasting foundation for a successful life.